hi, my name is Gaia Guarda. I'm the singer and harpist from the metal band Uriel from Montreal. And we're right now listening to or watching Metal Robot reviews. Yay.
Nailed it. All right.
Initializing. Welcome to Metal Robot Reviews.
Welcome to the Metal Robot Reviews channel. I'm your host, Tom McKay, and by the time this video comes out, which should be October 1st, the symphonic metal band Uriel will be re-releasing their 2019 album, Multiverse. To talk more about this, I'm sitting down with the vocalist slash harpist of the group and honorary member of the Ontario Pirates League, Gaia Guarda. Gaia, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty amazing. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. First of all, I'm glad to see that your eye has healed up, me matey, you scurvy sailor. But I gotta ask, what happened with the eye anyways?
Oh, it was so stupid. So I was at work and I had a like a plastic thingy that I wanted to throw in the garbage. And usually that thing, you can bend it. And I was like going to bend it and the thing just exploded in my face. And I had some of the plastic go right into my eye. So I had a cut in my eye.
Oh, that is
it was so stupid. And it took like 5 seconds and I have access to the cameras and I went to check exactly what happened. You could see just me like having like the plastic drop in my face. And I was just like, I stopped and I couldn't move. I was so surprised with the pain that I was feeling for like something so small.
Oh, God. I'm not going to lie. The second you said you were bending the plastic, I'm like, oh, no, I know what's about to happen.
Wrong.
To be fair, dumb work accidents happen all the time. Fun fact, I actually have a scar right here because you ever seen those like push bars on those big ass doors?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I worked at a movie theater years ago. And while I was quickly leaving the theater, for whatever reason, the hand jabbed itself into the side of the bar and it split open. I love opening up an interview with that kind of imagery. So anyways, moving on. So let's talk Uriel. For the average viewer who hasn't heard of your group, who are you guys? What do you do? And who else is in the band who, may I add, could not be here tonight?
Yeah. Okay. So we're a lot of people. We're 6. So we have our drummer, Gab, her violinist, Ari, our cellist, Jessica, bassist, Phil, and we have our guitarist, Dave. So we're a lot of people. We've been around for a while. Myself, I've been in the band it's going to be 9 years in March. So it's been a long time. The band has been around for like 12 years, if I'm not mistaken. It was mostly my bassist project. He started this as being like a 2-man project. They were like doing a bunch of shows with just him, with a drummer, and then they added a singer, and then that was it for a long time. And then they wanted to have like, they had an operatic singer come for like, I think she used to sing for Augury. I'm not sure. I'm like, I don't know how to pronounce it in English, but like it's a big band here. And so she used to sing with them. She did one album with Uriel, and then they kind of split and she went. And then like they hired me. But yeah, we've been around for a long time. And myself, I've been on 2 albums, and I think we have released 4 albums in total, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, we play weird music.
I wouldn't call it weird, but I'm just realizing now 4 albums. How many of them are not online?
There's 2 of them that were just like, we don't want people to find. That's kind of like, none of us are still on that album. Like none of the current member are on that album. It's just only the bassist. And I think there's like 1 or 2 copies left of those albums. And I for real, like, you don't want those albums. They're very, very bad. No offense.
Okay. That is fair enough. I love the fact that you have the same response that most people have looking back at like some of the old work from high school. It's like, I don't want this here anymore. Please just get it off the internet.
Yeah. It was like badly recorded, badly written too. And it's just like, it's so far from what we've been doing now. Like with the lineup that we have right now, we're like more symphonic, and like I feel like we sound a little bit bigger than what we sounded even like the album before. And the other two is mostly like black metal. Like it's so far from what we are doing right now. I'm just like, no, they don't exist. I don't agree with them.
So, but with the current setup that you guys currently have going on right now, what was the idea behind how you guys write and compose? Because among many symphonic metal bands out there, which pretty much feature a pretty voice up front, 1 or 2 long-haired dudes on the axe, a bass player who can barely be heard, a drummer who either only knows 4 on the floor or is in the wrong band, and a keyboardist whose only purpose is to write the cool orchestral parts that, let's face it, more symphonic fans care more about than anything else. What I'm trying to say is you guys have a very different lineup structure. Was that an intentional quirk that you guys kind of started working out, or did that kind of just stumble upon itself by accident?
Okay, so we have a very weird lineup. So when I joined the band, Jessica, like the cellist, she joined around the same time. Like, so I joined first, and like she was only playing 2 songs, and then she ended up like joining the band fully. And then she's kind of managing the band now. Like she does all that has to do with like organizing people, because 6 people is a lot of people. So like she ended up like joining the band, and she had like this very giant like acoustic cello. And like we used to have the acoustic cello live with pickups on it. And like it didn't sound that great. And then eventually like the sound kind of like, we went a little bit more in the not even orchestral, because we don't really have orchestral in our songs. It's just like we have a violin.
I did notice that. Yeah, it's mostly just like a small string section, really. That's
not even. Yeah, exactly. It's just a cello with the violinist. So like it sounds a bit different. I feel like it sounds almost like folky sometimes, like more than like classical music. And so we just ended up like having her, and then we had another violinist, and then like we have the one that we have right now. She's been here for like, I think it's 5 years now. And then eventually I bought myself a harp. And this year I got 2 more harps, because you can't only have one, you have to have multiple harps. Oh. And
yeah, guitar players are the same way. I have 3 guitars plus an acoustic in the back just because I can.
For me, it's because I have to, because you have like some different limitation depending on which instruments. All to say that it just like came along very organically. Like we didn't really put into thoughts about what we wanted to do as a sound. And like, I feel like maybe we should have, because sometimes I feel like we're kind of like all over the place, but I love what we did, because it was like everybody took their inspiration and like their own influence, and like we just like did like this kind of like weird melting pot, and then we ended up like being that album. And like I'm very proud of it, and I'm so happy that we're able to re-release it, because I felt like it kind of like fell into the cracks with everything that happened with COVID. And so yeah, we're weird.
We weird is basically the best way we could sum it all up. How did you guys fully, like all of you, meet? Because you mentioned everyone started coming on as time went on, but how did you guys start to meet each other? Was it at shows, or did you guys meet in public? What was it like?
Okay, so I used to play in another band from Montreal that had done a few shows with Uriel, with the old lineup, and I did not like the band that much, to be honest. I was like, this sounds kind of weird, and I'm not sure I really like it. And like that's why I'm saying like I don't like the old songs. But so I was fired from that band. And I was like, I'm not playing any more music. I don't want to play in any male band, and like I don't want to be part of any band, because I felt like it was like so much energy, and it can just be taking away from you. Even
just complete chaos, basically.
Exactly. And so I was like, I'm done. I'm just gonna do my electronic weird shit and like in my basement, and just like hope for the best that it's gonna go well. But I don't want to do any more like male music. And Jess, she was married with the bassist, and so like they were together for a long time. And like she saw me live with the old band, and like they had the show coming, and they were like looking for someone to do the vocal for those shows. So she messaged me on Facebook. She's like, hey, I saw you at that show, and like we really need someone for two concerts. Are you willing to do it? We're gonna pay you, and like it's in 2 weeks. I'm just like, fine, I need the money.
It's like, well, at first I was saying no, but then you offered money, so yeah, I think I'm just gonna do.
Exactly, I have bills.
I'll bite my tongue, but fine. I'll dive back into the metal world. Bring on the beer.
Yeah, I was just like, okay, fine. I'm gonna go and do like those 2 shows, and then that's gonna be it. And I told her I'm not interested in like joining any fucking band. Like I'm done. And then I met them. They gave me the lyrics, and like I had to practice before the show. I was like, this is going to be a nightmare.
How much time did you have to practice those though?
2 weeks.
2 weeks to practice?
Yeah. And two practice with them. And the recording they sent me was like not nice. And like I'm sure they won't like listen to this interview, so it's okay, I can bitch. But so they gave me like all those songs to learn, and it was a 45-minute set, and I was just like, okay, I'm going to do it. I need the money. So I ended up doing the show, and it went really well. And like, I really loved the guys in the band. And then they asked me if I wanted to join. I was like, fine. Okay, I'm joining. It's fine. You don't have to pay me. And I've been there for almost 9 years. So at some point,
you know what? Before you had to pay me. Now I'm willing to do it for free. I can make the compromise.
Exactly. I was like, it's okay. I don't need the money that much. Then it was me, the bassist, and the cellist, and we had like other people that were like going and leaving, blah blah. So eventually we needed to have a new guitarist, and thank God for like Craigslist and like all those like kind of ad sites. So we put an ad there, and like Dave, like he messaged us, and like we did an interview with him, and like it was a real job interview. You come here with your guitar, you have to bring your beer, and let's go. And we ended up really liking him. So we took him, and he's been in the band for like 7 years. And then we wanted to have like violin, and we used to have a violinist for like a long time, but like he wasn't really coming to practice anymore. We're just like, okay, we're going to try to have someone. And Dave, he posted an ad again on one of those ad sites, classified sites. And we found the violinist that we have right now. And like, she's amazing. And she's been in the band for 5 years. And the drummer has been there in the past 2 years. So that's why we don't have any picture with him. It's COVID. Like there was like no way to have pictures.
Yeah, because I did see the, for context, I posted on Twitter and the picture I used was the promo pic from 2019. This is, as you said, before the new drummer came on. Oops.
I have a funny story about the pictures. Okay, so we had a drummer and we fired him, but we have already taken the promotional pictures. So I asked the photographer if she could remove him for the picture. So the picture that you posted, it was removed. It was like in the middle.
That's a good Photoshop job. I did not notice.
I know. And even more funny, sometimes when we sign, like we had like people bringing the albums, and on the album, he is still on those pictures because it was already sent to press before. So like what we do is my drummer signs on his face.
That's how you know you officially made it with the band, when you can officially start writing autographs over the other previous members' band.
Sometimes you just like put smiley faces. I'm just like, I'm dying.
Let's talk a bit more about Multiverse. The album actually originally came out back in 2019, which should have been 2 years ago, but due to time being 2020 and 2021 is actually 467 years ago. Can you tell me what the lead, I know it's hard to remember, but can you tell me what the lead up was like leading to the creation and eventual release of that album?
Oh man, I wanted to quit the band before we released it. Hear me out.
At least you're honest.
Yeah, I was honest. We were like working on songs, but like I felt like we weren't ready to go into the studio. And then like my bassist is just like, okay, so I booked the studio for like next month, and I'm just like, we're not ready. We're like really not ready.
We have guitar riffs, but we don't have anything else. What are you doing?
Yeah, it was, but like we ended up like taking more time like to do it. It was not in a month. Like we took like I think we took up to like 4 months to like record everything and like make sure that everything sounded the way we wanted it. It was hard. It was really hard work. And it was my first time really recording in a professional studio. It was with Christian Donaldson. Is from Cryptopsis. I was very like scared. I was like, man, I have never really recorded in studio before. And then my first experiences with him, I'm just like, oh no, this is not going to go well. But he was so nice. And like when my part came to like record the vocals, he had a bunch of ideas, and like he really helped me like do like the layouts. And like it was really funny because sometimes he had like ideas like, oh, okay, you try to do. He has like a very soft voice. not with a lot of power. So like, he wouldn't hit the note, but like barely. He was like, oh, you mean like, ah? He's like, yeah, this note. And it was the first time that we were actually putting an album out, all this lined up together. It was our first album together. So it was a lot of work. And like, it was my first time recording harp too. I had never played harp in front of people before. Like I did the album, and I was very scared. I was like, I don't think I'm ready to do it. But it was like, no, just do it. It's going to be fun. I was like, yes, I'm dying, but still I'm going to go and try it. It was a lot of work. And this is one of the reasons too, why we wanted to re-release it, because we felt like we put so much energy and like worked so hard on this album. And then it just like, we played 2 shows with that album and that's it. And then like everything like went into lockdown, and it was like, yeah, that was a lot of energy, money, and effort for nothing.
On the bright side, the album's on the internet forever. So there you go.
My legacy.
Your legacy. Like I mentioned earlier, I did post the socials at the Metal Robot on Facebook and Twitter, and I asked people to send questions while welcoming people to make fun of me for using the previous band picture that features no drummer.
Again, sorry.
Thankfully, I did get a couple questions that I hope you can answer, although I am realizing now one of the questions would have actually been perfect had the other 2 band members, who are the violinist and cellist, would have actually, come. Ozzy Man Buddhist wants to know what the secret is to making the violin and cello sound good live.
Really easy. Having an electric instrument. Because when we started, we had an acoustic instrument with pickups. They sound like shit.
Oh.
So when we did this switch and they bought like actual instruments that are made to be played live. So we have like the electric cello and the electric violin with like a bunch of pedals. It sounds way nicer than it used to. And like, I think this is just like it makes a huge difference. So don't have acoustic instrument.
Don't have acoustic instrument.
For metal.
Yeah.
It just didn't sound right. Like it was like the instrument were like too small for like the amount of sound that you had on the stage, because you have the drum, you have the bass, you have everything else. So for us, just switching to having an electric instrument made a huge difference than having like a bunch of pedals, having like the reverb pedal and like all the shit. I'm not a very technical person, and to be honest, I think if you had like my other bandmates here, they would probably say the same thing, because they're not technical people too.
To be fair, like I know this much about more orchestral instruments. I know that usually the bulk of their loud sound comes from being played in a concert hall rather than a bar where it smells like beer, piss, and
deception,
body odor. Yeah, that too. At Lynn's Riot, aka Lindsay Schoolcraft, asked what your favorite dinosaurs are.
Yeah, because that's my question for everybody. Is like, I don't know you. What's your favorite dinosaur?
Yeah.
For me, it's the megalodon. It's like the giant shark, because I'm a huge fan of sharks. And like, what's your favorite shark? Do you know more than one?
Oh God. Well, Great White's the obvious one. But I think, Hammerhead. Maybe.
Oh, those are cool. They look so weird.
They look fucking badass.
I think if you ever have time to look up shark, look for goblin shark. They're so weird. They look deformed. I love them. I'm just like, I want one.
I want a goblin shark as a pet. Can I get one?
It's like, I have a tub. I don't have a tub.
I have a container of sorts that might be able to house
a glass of water.
Exactly. Yeah, that's more than enough, right?
That's kind of fit. It's not like big.
All right. So this question actually wasn't asked on Twitter, but I actually asked. Speaking of Lindsay School, I asked this question to her when I had her on the show for the first time back in 2019, and that question is: it's a harp question. What's it like tuning those things?
It's not as bad as you would think.
Really?
But the pedal harp is way harder. Like, so I have 3 harps. So I have 2 Celtic and one that's like a pedal harp. Okay, so I have like, this is my Celtic harp. So this one is pretty easy. Like, you just tuning it doesn't take that much. That one, my hand hurts when I'm done. It's like 47 strings. And when you get to the higher part, they're metal strings and they're so hard to move. It's insane. The little ones, no problem. It's taking me like 5 minutes and it's done. But the big one takes me like 30 minutes and I'm crying all my tears. And I'm just like, why? That was a bad idea. Why? And then like I touch it when it's tuned. I'm just like, okay, that's why.
Well, aside from the fact that I'll never complain about tuning a 7-string ever again, I can definitely say this much, but that I'm looking at the biggest harp in the back, and I'm already like, I'm feeling my hands just crying for me right now. It's this final question I'm going to ask you because this is your first time on the show, so I feel like this is the perfect question to ask you for your first time. If you could be any cereal box character, who would you be?
That's a good one. I think I would be the Fruit Loops one, like the toucan. Is that the same word in English?
Yeah, yes, Toucan Sam. And finally, Thank you for not saying Count Chocula again. Everyone keeps saying Count Chocula.
They're like, is Gothic?
Everybody's answer. So far, I've interviewed at least like the past couple of weeks. I've interviewed quite a few people. I think all of them said Count Chocula, at least one.
You know what? I think in Quebec we didn't have those cereal.
Really?
Now that I think about it, I don't think I had it. I had them when I was a kid. I didn't really like mini wheats. I think they were like still my favorite like cereal, but like it's just like the cereal thing. Like I don't think they have names.
All right. Well, Gaia, thank you so much for coming on the show. Multiverse re-release has once again come out for the second time. It's out on Bandcamp. I believe it's also out on streaming services. So be sure to pick it up. Be sure to check it out. Gaia, anything else you want to shout out for Uriel or even your own solo work?
Well, we have a show in Montreal. I don't know if like anybody's in Montreal that's going to watch this interview, but if you guys are in Montreal and wants to come see us, we're playing on October 23rd at L'Astral. It's like one of my bucket list venues, so I'm super excited. So the tickets will be already on sale when you see this video, but we're headlining, and like I'm super excited because I'm gonna bring the big one too for the first time. So like, come see us.
I can't imagine the unload and unload of that fucking thing. All right.
I have a dad that actually moves pianos, so he's like, I can help you out.
There you go.
Issue.
All right. Well, while we have a couple seconds left, I'm going to say thank you so much once again for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you for having me. I was super excited to talk to you.
That was Gaia Guarda from Uriel. If you enjoyed this video and you want to check them out, links are down in the description below. But also hit the like button on this video. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, ring that fucking bell, or else Gaia will have you tune her harps for an entire day. Do not miss a string, or it will hurt later on. And I'll see you in the mosh pit next time. Have a good night.